Okay, alrighty, hello.
Are you ready? The champ!
Okay, so that's the introduction, I guess. That's going to be the intro to this episode. Um, Welcome to episode 2 of Film is Literature. I'm your host, Justin, and once again, I'm with nobody. So, hello. How you doing? It's just me. You're going to get me alone. Me, myself, and I for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, who knows? I might ramble on forever. But today, just got done watching a movie off of Netflix. Oh, and also, once again, I'm here in my darkness. Yes, I know what you're thinking. All the lights cause me to look dark. But no. Those lights are just for show. It's actually just completely dark in here. Anyways, I just got done watching a show or a movie on Netflix. Once again, I'll be doing movies that are not that popular or not that famous. So this movie is actually one of the top ones on Netflix right now, which is kind of weird. But it's Cleaner, the 2007 movie with Samuel L. Jackson. If you're like me, you're like, whoa, why do I not remember this movie? It's probably because it was never released in America. That's right, it was never in theaters. It was never released, so it was only released internationally, where it made $5.7 million. It came out in 2007 in some places, 2008. It's kind of all over the place, so it wasn't really released in America at all. The summary for the movie is a former cop who now earns a wage as a crime scene cleaner unknowingly participates in a cover up. So it's a good story. It has Samuel L. Jackson, Eva Mendes, Ed Harris, Luis Guzman's in it. I mean, man, this was probably the last movie that he did. I don't really remember him doing much after that, but it was good to see Samuel L. Jackson. I think this was like around his peak. I mean, if you look at his movies from like 2006 to just after this, you got Freedom Land, Snakes on a Plane, Black Snake Moan, The Farce of the Penguins, which he narrates great. I mean, who else is gonna watch? I mean, who else can get you to watch penguins walking around for an hour or two? He also did 1408. Then he did Cleaner. He also had Jumper and Iron Man and Lakeview Terrace during the next year. So this was pretty good Samuel L. Jackson time right here. This was him still at the top of his game. Um, Eva Mendes was also in this movie. If you remember her, she was in another Samuel L. Jackson movie, Training Day. So, which I actually think they work very well together. She's one of those actresses where it's like I kind of like her, I kind of don't like her. I don't really understand. Like, I mean, obviously she's freaking hot as hell. I mean, she's one of the hottest women in the world. I did not know she was with Ryan Gosling in real life, so that's that was a surprise to me for sure. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I like her, but I don't like her at the same time. I think she works well in roles where it's not like in the movie Hitch. I didn't think she was all that great. I think she works better as like a badass woman or like man, maybe she just doesn't work well as a main character. But if you looked at her run up to the Cleaner, she had a Ghost Rider, um, Trust the Man. She really wasn't in much, and then right after that, she had the other guys and Last Night. So really, I mean, really, if you look at her whole filmography, she's really never really done too much. Really, I mean, you're kind of like, hey, she's a great actress, but then you start to look at her movies, it's like, man, she really hasn't done much, and she hasn't done anything in a long time. So I guess she pretty much gave up acting during this. But anyways, so this movie is about, like I said, somebody that cleans up after murders or crimes, mostly murders though, and that's Samuel L. Jackson. He was a cop. Um, I guess he quits being a cop and his wife gets killed. And anyways, he cleans up the job, and they find out that the wife didn't know about it. So it was kind of like, oh snap. And then the husband goes missing. Missing. So it's like, okay, whoa, wait a minute now, something fishy is going on here. And he ends up getting caught up in like this big thing where it's a big cover up. I guess that the city was trying to indict a corrupt cop. This guy that got killed worked for the cop or helped the cop out, and you find out that Ed Harris was actually the one that was having an affair with a wife, and he's the one that basically ended up killing the dude, which kind of came as a surprise. Ed Harris also a great actor. He's done some amazing things in his time. I mean, he's a classic actor. I mean, if you don't like Ed Harris, I don't know really what to tell you. I mean, he's been in some really good movies. He was in The Firm, A Beautiful Mind, A History of Violence was a great movie. Gone Baby Gone, Snowpiercer, the movie, which is good. You should definitely check out the show, though. The show is way better. He was in Empire Falls, so he's been in a lot of good stuff. But so we found out that he was the killer, which awesome, great. Man, but this movie though, it never got going. Even with this cast, it just never got going. It never had me invested. It never had me into it. The story was just kind of like, eh. I don't know. It's like the idea of the movie was great, and Samuel L. Jackson, in this role, okay, great. But man, it just never. Maybe they just didn't. The movie seemed kind of fast. Like it didn't really. We didn't really get invested in the characters. We didn't really get invested in the story. So it was kind of like, eh. It was a disappointment. I mean, there's a reason though why I guess it was never released in America. You know, this has got to be one of the biggest letdowns of Samuel L. Jackson's career, probably. So, and then which is funny too, because literally the next year you had a movie kind of like this come out called Sunshine Cleaning, where they clean up after murders, and that movie starred Amy Adams and Emily Blunt. Which I seen that movie one time. It was probably better than this movie. It was funny, but it also had you. It was a totally different movie. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. Like this is like an action thriller. That was more of like a little comedy. But yeah, so this movie had a 17% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is awful. It just, I don't know, man. Like I said, it never gets going. It never gets you invested in the story. It never makes you go, oh, okay. It's not even really a predictable movie. I didn't see Ed. It's like you expect Ed Harris to be involved somehow, but you don't expect him to be the killer, really. So it was kind of like, okay, like maybe we could have seen it coming if we were invested more, but we weren't there. We couldn't, we couldn't get into it. It was kind of like okay, this movie is 80 minutes long, and I'm probably not going to watch it again. This was a one-time deal. This was it. It didn't make me think though of it would be really cool. So Samuel L. Jackson, there's a couple of scenes where they're with some kids, and Eva Mendes does great, which she's probably a great mother in real life. She's probably great at everything. Let's be honest here, but Samuel L. Jackson gets involved with the kids, and you're like, man, it'd be really cool if Samuel L. Jackson did a movie like The Tooth Fairy, like what The Rock did. I think that would be hysterical, man. That movie would be freaking funny as hell. Like, why can we not get a movie like that? Especially now that Samuel is like older. Maybe he could be like a grumpy grandpa or something. Like, holy crap, that would be an incredible movie. I would watch that in a heartbeat. Which really, I would watch any Samuel L. Jackson in a heartbeat, and that's one reason why I chose this movie. As I was scrolling Netflix earlier, I had some other movies in mind that I kind of wanted to watch, but it was like, okay, I've never seen this one. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. Why not? And I was like, oh, it's got Eva Mendes in it. And I was like, oh, it's 2007 Eva Mendes. When she was probably, one of the top 5 hottest women in the world. So why not watch it? Why not check it out? I can see why it's a top 10 on Netflix, because all people probably have the same idea I have. And I'm sorry that you fell for that. I really am. I'm really sorry that you fell for that. So let's go to, if you look at movies that came out in 2007, man, it's there's some good movies. Pretty good movies in 2007. We had 3:10 to Yuma, super bad. The remake of Halloween, The Bourne Ultimatum, Rush Hour 3. Hairspray. Let's don't forget that was a big one too. Transformers. That was a great one. Live Free or Die Hard. Dude, these are all great movies, and Cleaner does not stand up there at all. Like if you scroll down the list, in 2007, Ocean's 13, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Hot Rod, Who's Your Caddy, dude. Probably all those movies I just named are better than Cleaner. So it's like, I don't know, like, so I'm not really surprised that this movie once again didn't do that good. It was it just wasn't, it just didn't. I don't even remember being promoted, which is the weird part. So if you look at 2007, the best movie was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and then Harry Potter: Order of the Phoenix. I don't know where in the order that falls. I've never seen Harry Potter. I'm not one of those people, so judge me if you will. But whatever, fuck you. You got Spider-Man 3. Not sure I've ever seen that one either. So, Transformers, I Am Legend, 300, American Gangster, which had a lot of hype and didn't live up to it. So you had a lot of good movies that year. Cleaner, obviously, not up there at all. Like, not even close. Let's see where Cleaner's not even in the top 200 for the year worldwide. That's how bad this movie is. So I definitely do not recommend. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should watch it one time, just because it is Samuel L. Jackson, it is Eva Mendes, it is Ed Harris. Decent story. The acting really wasn't even bad either. Like, the acting was decent. I mean, it was just something about the movie. You just don't get invested in it. Like, it kind of goes too quick. The story, it just kind of goes too quick. I think there just never was any emotion behind it, I guess, maybe. Yeah, I just don't know, man. It's just one of those things where you're just like, what happened here? It's like, it's like when when an NBA team gets like 4 or 5 All Stars, and you're like, oh, they're gonna do good, and they don't win the title, and you're like, what happened here? What was the problem? And I think that's what this was. It's like we don't know what the problem was. It just didn't make it, man. It just didn't go. It didn't pop out. I can definitely see why I got lost in time. Lost in history. There's a reason why it never will be remembered, probably. And overall, definitely do not watch this movie. This is kind of a quick podcast because that's how bad the movie is. I can't even really continue talking about it. Like I said, I mean, check out any other Eva Mendes movie. Even Hitch is probably better than this, which is saying something because I'm not a big fan of Hitch at all. Definitely check out any other Samuel L. Jackson movie. I mean, this might be the worst Samuel L. Jackson movie I've ever watched. Even check out other Ed Harris movies. I mean, check out his other movies too. I mean, he's a way underrated actor. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit at all. So definitely check out 25 other movies from 2007, because 2007 was a great year. I just graduated high school. I was watching movies all the time. I mean, I remember me and my friends would go like every weekend to see a movie. It's a great year for movies. Definitely check out a lot of other movies besides this one. Man, it's hard to continue talking about this movie. The Cleaner, or just Cleaner. It's not even The Cleaner. That's also the problem. I feel like if it was The Cleaner, it would be way better. Maybe you could have changed the story up. Maybe, I mean, I guess one thing I did like about it was the daughter at the end killed Ed Harris's character, which was cool. Awesome shot to the head. I mean, holy crap. She'd been practicing for sure. And then it kind of went into her, like, kind of narrating the story, because it started with Samuel L. Jackson narrating the story. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I liked that part. But that was really, like, the only part of the movie where I was like, oh, shit, okay. Like, this is cool. And you wait 120 minutes or 100 minutes into the movie, and it's like, oh, okay, why did you wait that long? Like, why? Why did we wait that long for a scene where I'm like, oh, shit, okay, there we go. Yeah, if I was them, I would have, I mean, I'm honestly surprised this movie got released at all. Or, man, it's bad. It's bad. Let's see. Yeah, so, I mean, it's made $7.8 million in DVD sales, so there's that. Yeah. There's really not even much about it on Wikipedia either. The daughter was Keke Palmer, so I really don't know what she's done. I don't really recognize her. I guess she was in Barbershop 2. She was in one of the Medea movies. Never really seen them. She was in Long Shots. Yeah, she haven't really. I mean, I don't know her really. It seems like she would have done a little better, because she did a pretty decent job in this movie. She actually might have been the bright spot of the movie, I guess, if I was to pick a bright spot. Yeah, she ain't done nothing either. So, yeah, I think if I was to pick a winner for the movie, it would be her. I think she's the best part of the movie. She wins the movie. I think as for who loses the movie, it's probably me for spending an hour and a half watching it, and also for the 15 minutes of deciding what to watch. I really let myself down there. Good job, Justin. You suck. I also feel bad for my dad for sitting there watching it for so long. Like, holy crap, how did he not get up and go do something else or fall asleep or, yell at me for putting on such a shitty movie? So, yeah. I guess the last part of the, how I'm going to end my videos is, I'm going to pick a wrestling title to give each movie, but this one doesn't deserve a title, actually. Not at all. I'm going to actually say that this one is like going to be this movie, Cleaner, which came out in 2007. Justin's going to give this one, this is a TNA jobber. That's what it is. It's a jobber in TNA. Total nonstop action wrestling. Cleaner is a jobber. That's how bad this movie is. This podcast was very quick, very short. Probably kind of boring, but that's what this movie was. So maybe next time I'll pick a better movie. Maybe next time I'll pick something that I can talk about, something that I enjoy, something that I like, something that will last longer. Again, it won't be a big name movie. I'm not going to pick big name movies. But if you have any recommendations, let me know. And make sure to check me out wherever you listen to your podcasts. And hopefully you see me again soon. And I'll check you later.